In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the clipping mask tool to create a name sign. Our first step is to use the text tool to type out the name you have chosen. I'm going to be using my name. I have chosen the indigo font. All right, so I've chosen a font with a really thick stroke so that I'll be able to see lots of my images when I'm done. And you want to make your size as big as you can get it. If you have the option, you might consider going with a bold text, but not all of the fonts on Photopea have that option. Once you've selected your font, you will simply click anywhere on your page in order to type. I'm going to space out my name into 3 separate lines, so I'm going to type as 3 separate text boxes. In my first, I will type Ms. And I'm just going to resize that a bit by holding down Shift and dragging. Then I'm going to use the text tool again. And I'm going to type Donsbach and my hyphen. I'm going to just move it a little bit. And then I'm going to click with my text tool and type Wilhelms, which is my full name, not that I use it a lot. Now I can see that I have some more space to work with. So I'm going to use my move tool to make my name as big as I can get it while still fitting on my page. So remember, I'm using my move tool, making sure that I have auto select and transform controls turned on. I hold down Shift to resize. You can arrange your name any way you want. It's entirely a personal choice. Oops. Almost there. My computer's just being a little bit slow here. Okay. One more time, hold down Shift and click and drag. All right, and there we have it. Now you want to make sure you have your name arranged exactly the way you want, because our next step means that there's no more typing. Our next step is to go over to my layer menu. Right now I have my top layer selected, the layer that says Wilhelms. I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard and click on my bottom text layer. So you can see here I have Ms., Donsbach, and Wilhelms all selected at once. You can tell because they are dark. Do not select the background layer. I'm going to right-click on one of my selected layers, and then I'm going to click Merge Layers. You can see they've all turned into one layer. It's Ms., Donsbach, Wilhelms, all in one layer. Next, I need to start putting images that describe me into my artwork. So I have some images pulled up here that I've already found. I'm going to start with the sunflower because I am a positive person. I always look on the bright side, just like a sunflower will always turn to look towards the sun. I'm going to right-click on my image and click Copy Image. I'm going to go to Photopea and hold down Control and V. That's V as in Valentine. I can resize it using my Move tool. And I'm going to place my sunflower where I think I'm going to want it in my final image. Now, you want to make sure not to make your images too big, because if you can only see your image through the window that the letters are going to become. So if I move my text on top, you can see anywhere where my letters are covering are the part of the image that I'm going to be able to see. So right now I can't see very much of the sunflower at all. I think I'd like to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm going to drag it smaller, and I'm going to place my image again. Yes, I think that's probably good. Now I'm going to keep placing images until I have covered all of my text. I shouldn't see any text when I'm done. So I'm going to quickly place all of my images. And here we go. I've even used a layer mask to cut out part of one of my images so that it wasn't covering too much of a different image. I have rearranged all of my layers by clicking and dragging them to create the right amount of overlap. Finally, we need to actually turn on the clipping masks. The final step is to make sure your text is in your bottom layer. Make sure your text is all the way at the bottom. And then on each layer above it, you're going to right-click and then click on Clipping Mask. You can see here that the images are starting to be cut out. So you can only see the images where they overlap the text tool. Just like this. Our one last step is to use the Move tool to adjust our images so that we can see as much of the main part of our image as possible. I can even rearrange my layers like so. I might need to use a little bit more of a raster mask here. Just so I can see a little bit more of my image. Final couple adjustments. Okay, and I think I might even use a clipping mask or a layer mask, raster mask, in this sunflower layer as well. So you can see here I'm just trying to adjust my image to be exactly what I want. All right. That looks pretty good to me. So I've got a cat, I've got candy, I've got sunflowers, I have a sweater, I have a color wheel, I have a beach bag on the beach, and you can see every part of the image. You might not be able to see the whole thing, but you can see a good amount. And you can see I customized exactly how much you could see by using raster masks. And there we go. That is how you use a clipping mask to create your name sign.